Alright, so a couple weeks ago I put out a video, which has actually been quite popular on this channel, of how to put together your Star Wars Haslab Cantina when it arrives. It should be coming very soon. I think we all got notification that we're going to start shipping August 4th. It's well past August 4th at this point. 2025, that is. That's what year it is when I'm recording this. Who knows what year it is when you're watching it. The point being is I've gotten a lot of comments on that video saying, well, okay, this is awesome, but how do I get all these aliens, and why are they not available? Well, that's what we dig into here on Spectra Creative. Hey guys, welcome back to Spectra Creative, ye old channel here on YouTube that talks about toys from the toy collector / toy maker perspective. Thank you for joining us. It's wonderful to see you and wonderful to have you. It's such a positive time when you can spend time with us, and I want to answer subscriber / commenter comments. Commenter comments? Yeah, that's a thing. Why not? So the Cantina's right around the corner. We're all gearing up to set up our greatest dollhouse ever, and yes, I call it a dollhouse because it does not have any missiles. If you have an action feature like a missile launcher or a rope to swing on or a door that opens with a magic sword, then it's a play set. If it's just a thing with tables and chairs, it's a dollhouse, guys. The only difference between dolls and action figures is what we call them. They're the same toy. Soft goods, rooted hair, they both have them. It's just all about perspective, people. Okay, so we're getting ready to set up our playset / dollhouse / cantina, and you suddenly realize that, oh wait, I don't actually have any of these characters. Where did they all come from? And we all know there's been Kenner Hasbro figures now straight for the past, 30 years since Power of the Force 2 launched in August of 1995. Happy birthday, Power of the Force 2. But the question is, okay, well, if there were all of these Cantina figures made over the last 30 years, well, why doesn't Hasbro just, put out a set of 20 of them, or a set of 50 of them, or even just a set of 10 of them, 2 sets of 10 of them, put them on Hasbro Pulse? Well, yes, there's obvious demand because people want to fill their, we've been waiting for this for years, really 40 years, 50 years almost, since we first saw the Cantina, and, buying Hammerhead and Walrus Man back in the day, because we all, there were Cantina play sets, but they were just, they were either small or made of cardboard, or, heck, even the Power of the Force 2 one was made of cardboard. So, yeah, waiting for a real Cantina has been years in coming. We've put up with, a bar that had stools, which shouldn't, that didn't have curved points, and it finally had the curving edge, but it still had stools. Yeah, it's been long. That's why people are excited over this dollhouse. All right, so why can't you just fill it up with all of those, delicious figures from the Power of the Force 2 and Saga and Legacy era and 30th anniversary sets? It's the tooling. Yeah, they tooled those figures, but keeping tooling is very expensive. Tools are the giant metal molds. Think of like those old Play-Doh molds from the 80s. It's just bigger and made of cast iron because you have to pour hot plastic magma. You're pouring hot plastic into these things over and over and over again, so they have to be. You can't make it out of paper mache, it'll melt. So that's why they're very expensive. A tool for a 6-inch action figure could cost between $20,000 to $100,000. When we did Castle Grayskull, which was a playset because it had action features, it had a door that secretly opened and all sorts of stuff. It was somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000 in tooling, and that was back in 2012. So, I imagine the Cantina was between $500,000 and $1 million to tool. And which is why, a company isn't just going to do that without a guaranteed sale to either retailers or, fans, subscribers. It's too much of a risk to throw down $1 million in tooling if you're not going to be able to recover that with sales. So, they are these giant metal iron blocks, and they're very expensive. You can store them. I remember when I was brand managing at Mattel over, again, the He-Man line, whoever's in charge of this, I guess, the vendor that did engineering, brought me a list of all the tools that were on the schedule to be destroyed that year. One of them was the 2000X Masters of the Universe line. And I was like, okay, wait, save these. Like, I picked out, the top 10 characters. I was like, because we might want to do commemorative ones, so let's keep those for another year at least. But then a year went by, and they were on the list again, and it was harder and harder to justify keeping them if there wasn't a direct plan to use them. So eventually, yeah, I had to sign off on the 2000X tooling being dumped. Where does it get dumped? Sometimes it gets melted down. Sometimes it gets thrown in Hong Kong Harbor. I bet if you went scuba diving down there, you could find some cool 80s tools. Sometimes they're used as anchors. Like, people buy them and use them as weights. It's crazy. Or they get sold for scrap. So, yeah, go to a scrap dealer or go scuba diving in Hong Kong. You're bound to find some Thundercats and Silverhawks and, Munchkins and all sorts of cool things. So, yeah, it's expensive to make them. It's expensive to store them. And that's why you will see the figures that Hasbro is re-releasing, like Momo Nadone, and they even have Bomb Vizon, the guy with the horn on his head and a little spike jacket. One of my favorites. Beyond that, that's probably back as far as they can go. Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan. Beyond that, they don't have, they just re-released Dengar, right? So, and that was the very first vintage collection figure. So basically, that kind of shows, okay, they have all the tooling for the vintage line currently. Before that, probably not so much. Which is a shame, because besides the Cantina aliens that you could re-release on vintage cards, you've got a lot of, fully tooled droids like FX7 that would work great. I mean, he would be you could just take that existing figure from all the way back from Power of the Jedi, and re-release that today on a vintage card, and you wouldn't need to retool them. But the tooling probably does not exist anymore. It's probably at the bottom of Hong Kong Harbor, sold to some company for scrap or weights or something. So that is why, yeah, you don't just get all of these figures that we've had, and those of us who have been fortunate in collecting for the past 30 years, this is the payoff. This is why we've been doing this, is the hope, the new hope that one day we would have a Cantina. So, yeah, you're going to head to either eBay or hope that Hasbro just keeps re-releasing some, like they did with Nibian Leeds and Greedo, and just are remaking some. Especially because a lot of the early ones also don't have knee articulation. And most of the Cantina characters, the only thing they need to do is sit. So without knee articulation, they really don't function. Like Duros is a perfect example. Great, beautiful figure. But he doesn't sit. He just stands. So, hey, redo the Duros, make it a 2-pack, give us both of them, and now we've finished one of the alcoves. Finish the alcoves. That's the new thing, right? We need like a pack of spacemen, a pack of grubby humans, and then finish the alcoves. That's going to be my new cheer for Hasbro. Plus, I still want Spot from Marvel Legends. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope this video clarified why all the Cantina aliens are not just re-released and what could be done to get them out again. And if you like this video, share it with your fellow friends. It's the best way to support this channel, and I appreciate that. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting, and I'll see you in the next video.